We are working out for the next 365 days in a row. So many of us struggle to make positive changes in our lives, and I tend to give up too. We can't stick to our goals. You see, we've done this challenge at least 10 times, reaching 200 plus days at least twice. I was hoping to get myself into breakdancing shape because I always wanted to breakdance. And failure was crushing. And sometimes when you fail a lot, you give up. And in my case, you give up on your dreams for good. I made excuses instead. But now, even if I give up, or I sleep in, or I stop, we're just going to start over again. We will become stronger. So what follows are my workouts and thoughts each day. Every day, we can decide to make good choices. So don't give up on yourself.
All right, good morning. Welcome to another workout. Gonna get super strong today. And on the menu, what we're gonna be eating, real simple, okay? So we're gonna be working our shoulders. We're gonna do overhead press. We're gonna do lateral raise and some form of rear delt fly. And then we're gonna be doing legs by doing probably deadlift and then a squat variation. And I don't know, I don't feel like doing lunges. So yeah, we're probably just gonna stick to doing the single leg stuff. I'm noticing this a lot now, guys. I'm noticing some pretty decent physique changes. What is it, 30? Yesterday was day 36. 37 days in. 37 days in. And 37 days in means we're 10% of the way done. So that went by really, really fast. So we gotta make sure we turn it up. We've got to make sure we're actually making progress. I feel like we're almost running out of time because I have to get ready for going to work. I ended up messing up my sleep, and by the way, sleep's important for training and for recovery. Last night, because my friend was helping me get started with setting up my Twitch stream, setting up my YouTube stream, and I'm still going through the process. And the question you gotta ask yourself is, how effective is using a band to do something like a deadlift? Like, what weight is this actually mimicking? Now, that's a great question. I have no flipping idea, but I just go based on feel, and that's it. Now, am I gonna be able to crank these out until exhaustion? I don't know. I really doubt it. I'm gonna stack these bands together and try and deadlift them. And if you haven't been in the other videos, if you haven't seen, basically when you put two bands together, it, becomes a lot stronger than just one. So, yeah. It might look like my rep speed has gone way up since the past 30-something videos. It has, okay? Our training is going to start changing, and that has something to do with something called periodization, okay? So, in the beginning of our training, we were really just focused on technique, form, very slow, hypertrophy. And hypertrophy, or muscle building, whatever you want to call it, essentially means muscle growth, focusing on building and getting the technique down was vital to lay a foundation. And when it comes to periodization, that's basically how you plan your workout program, okay? So I started in the hypertrophy phase, I started in that technique phase. A month after that, okay, what I would normally do is I go hypertrophy, then I would go strength, then I would do muscular endurance, and the rep speed and a bunch of things change. Okay, now that's pretty important to note because at the end of the day, the speed of your reps, the amount of reps you do, these things, they change the way that your muscle, your strength, everything will develop. The amount of rest between sets also changes things. So if you're working something like muscular endurance, the rest time will be a lot shorter, the reps will be a lot higher, as an example, and you'll get the benefits of that, right? Now that could be a difference in physique, right? Your physique might look different than somebody who trains only strength, has very long rest periods all the time, versus somebody who trains one thing, you know what I mean? So it's very particular. It isn't finite, okay? Just because somebody's only doing strength training does not mean that they're gonna be like big belly, Eddie Hall looking, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that there are differences. So anyways, on the note of periodization, I can't really work strength that effectively because there's a certain limit to how heavy I can go with this equipment. So I said, you know what, it's been about a month, we need to start training muscular endurance. Okay, so now that's why the rest and all of that is so much different. And eventually, after this month is over, I mean, we'll be at the gym anyways, we're probably going to enter a strength phase. So the training will change yet again. I'll try and update you guys. But as far as resistance bands go, I don't know the correct amount of reps, but I think it's probably somewhere around 20 to 50 reps. Within that range, as large as that is, it's probably closer to the end if I want to pad my ego a little bit. We're all going to be doing 3 sets per exercise. Basic beginner deadlift tips, guys. Whenever you're doing a deadlift, you should not be feeling your back. Like, that should not be the primary mover. Think of your back muscles as stabilizers. Really, when you're going down into a deadlift, it is a leg exercise. You're gonna work, your quads. You're gonna work your glutes, especially your glutes. If you guys have poor glute activation, you don't know how to properly use your glutes, I would not recommend doing a deadlift with heavy weight. Okay, you gotta understand how your butt works. Okay, so from this hinge position, as an example, stick my hips out. From here, I can squeeze my glutes. I can literally push my feet in the ground, not do anything with my back. Squeeze my glutes, squeeze my glutes, squeeze my glutes, squeeze my glutes until I'm standing. Okay, so you gotta have that ability. And I'll give you some quick tips as I'm starting this up. I grab my hand a bit lower on the band, okay? And what I'm gonna do is holding it until I feel some tension. I know that if I go up to this tension here, great, amazing. All I do now is I get my hands about to patella level, or right at my knee, okay? And then I push into the band, and as I'm pushing, I keep my core braced, I stick my butt out, take a deep breath in, and I'm pushing and squeezing my butt. That's it, guys. Money. That was a very, very slow start, but I'm definitely going to pick it up. I'm going to do a little bit of a banded thing here, okay? Take this band, you see this loop? So we're going to take it. We're going to twist the end of it like this. And there's going to be 3 loops, so I want you to take a look. 2 loops here. Okay, so I take this band here, turn it again, put it together on this loop, okay? Then all we do is we kind of finagle our hand in. So they're all even. Okay, so we're going to use this as like a mini band. Does that make sense? If you've ever done leg exercises, put my leg in, and we're here. Okay, drop down. Ow, digging into my skin, dudes. These are a lot more effective than I ever thought they would be, guys. These banded squats, holy. Now when I finally get to the gym, I feel like I'm going to genuinely surprise myself with how much strength I have in reserve compared to what I normally have. A bit of a downside though is things like your quads, hammies. Specifically your quads aren't going to get as much love as they would normally get from these movements. They're not loaded in the same way. So there is something to be said about that, right? It is definitely a different movement though. Definitely different. If you want to feel your glutes activate, guys, banded squats. Yes, I'm dropping down into the squat, right? I'm trying to push my knees out on the band. Very important. I push my knees out. I drop down and I get to the bottom. I squeeze my glutes to come up. If I rush too fast, then sometimes I lose the squeeze, but I try and keep it on every single rep. And again, me doing all those slow reps for so many other workouts, it helps. It helps me build that mind-muscle connection. It helps me build that stability and re-ingrain the muscle memory that I've already had from previous years, previous training. So it is a good thing that I took such a slow start. Oh shit. Oh, wow, okay. As soon as I feel my knees begin to knock, I just call the clock. Anyways, overhead press. Step in the band, grab the band, rack it around the shoulder, and then you press out, right? Now, the one thing I've always disliked about higher rep workouts is the more reps that you do, especially when done quickly, the higher chance you have for injury, right? the more complex the movement, right? So you do a very complex movement very fast for long periods of time, your chance for injury goes up. I'm not saying that means you're going to be injured. You know, it's just a lot higher because a lot of different accessory muscle groups will fatigue. Your mind will fatigue, and then you don't get not only not good rest, but again, like the injury component. So it's why things like CrossFit and some other sports never really appealed to me, because I just saw that as a potential for bad things to go bad, right? And even if you're like the best athlete ever in some of those high intensity sports, you gotta at least admit that, well, you know, if I ever messed this up, it would be terrible. I'm pushing my head through, by the way. Allow myself full extension. Guys, it's definitely not that it's hard to push with my tricep at all. It's just my shoulders get tired when doing this. Whew, and today we're probably going to wrap up with some side plank. Because we don't have a lot of time this morning. I'm just going to do that off camera. Ow, dude. Now we jump into lateral raise. I don't know if we're going to need the chair for this. Probably, let's see. So, options for lateral raise at home that I found so far, and you guys can let me know if you have your own, but you could do lateral raise using a chair by putting the band underneath the chair and pulling out, or pretty simply, you can do single arm by stepping on the band on one way, like this. So I step on it with both feet, and then I pull here. So that's an option. Let's start with this option. We're already doing it. And then we'll move to the chair. The blue band is just too heavy. It's been too heavy. Oh man, I think I actually did have at least one or two. One or two more left. Entering the last set of this morning's workout, guys. Sick. Sick. But yeah, I should. Nah. It's not good enough. There we go, come on. Okay, that was something. Alright, so successfully we get a lot. We got shoulders, got our legs. Excited for that core workout tonight. Now we get ready for work. Alright, bye-bye.